The last time anyone saw Daniel Reed, he was walking down a quiet suburban street, his backpack slung over one shoulder and a football clutched in his hands. It was a crisp autumn evening in 1998, the kind where the air smelled faintly of burning leaves and the sun dipped early behind the roofs of Maplewood, a town where people still left their doors unlocked and trusted their neighbors. But that night, Daniel never made it home. Daniel was 12, the kind of boy teachers remembered for his crooked smile and restless energy. His mother, Linda Reed, said he was always the first one out the door, eager to play before the homework routine began. That Friday, Daniel was at a friend's house after school. At 6:15 p.m., he waved goodbye and started his 10-minute walk home. It should have been uneventful. Maplewood was small, safe, predictable. But by 7 o'clock, when Linda noticed his dinner plate untouched and the silence stretching through the house, a chill ran through her. She stepped outside, calling his name. Daniel. The word echoed, thin against the wind. By 8:30, the neighbors were helping, their flashlights sweeping across empty sidewalks and shadowy yards. By midnight, the police were involved. The Maplewood Police Department treated it as a routine missing child case at first. Kids wandered. Kids got lost. But Linda insisted Daniel wasn't the type to vanish. Witness reports trickled in. A neighbor swore she saw him turn onto Birchwood Lane. Another said they spotted a boy in a red jacket near the corner store. And a third insisted they heard a child scream, but dismissed it as TV noise. The descriptions didn't always match. But one detail did: a white van seen circling the neighborhood. Still, there was no solid lead. For weeks, flyers with Daniel's face fluttered on telephone poles. Search dogs combed the woods. Volunteers dragged the nearby river. Nothing. It was as if the earth had swallowed him whole. The Reed family fractured under the weight of the unknown. Linda stopped sleeping, sitting by the window each night with the porch light on, whispering, "Come home, Danny." Daniel's father, Mark Reed, retreated into silence, showing up at work but barely speaking. The couple, once united, now argued constantly. Linda accused Mark of giving up. Mark accused Linda of obsessing. The house, once filled with laughter, now echoed with grief. Maplewood changed after Daniel's disappearance. Parents tightened their grip on their children's hands. Doors that had once been left unlocked now stayed bolted. The town fair was canceled that year, and Halloween passed without a single child on the streets. Every shadow seemed suspicious. Every stranger felt dangerous. The legend of the boy who never came home became Maplewood's ghost story. 10 years passed. The case grew cold. The flyers yellowed and tore. New families moved into town, unaware of the boy who vanished. But for Linda, time didn't dull the pain. She kept Daniel's room untouched, the posters of basketball stars still taped to the wall, the twin bed neatly made, the desk stacked with unfinished homework. Then, on the anniversary of his disappearance, a package arrived. No return address, just her name scrawled in shaky handwriting. Inside was a VHS tape. Linda stared at the dusty black cassette in her hands. Who even used VHS anymore? She dug the old player from the attic, trembling as she slid the tape inside. The screen crackled with static before an image appeared. A dimly lit basement, a single chair in the center, and a boy. He was thin, pale, his hair longer, but the face was unmistakable. Daniel. He looked directly into the camera, lips trembling, as if he wanted to speak but couldn't. Then, suddenly, a gloved hand appeared, yanking him backward into the shadows. The tape cut to black. Linda collapsed, clutching the screen. Her son had been alive. The tape reignited the case. Detectives flooded Maplewood, retracing every old lead. The FBI got involved. The neighborhood remembered the white van. Records showed a local man, Edward Clark, had owned one at the time. Clark had been a handyman, often hired for odd jobs. He'd left town abruptly 2 months after Daniel disappeared. When police tracked him down in another state, Clark denied everything. But in his basement, they found boxes of old tapes. Most were blank. One showed the same chair from the first video. But Daniel was never in any of them. Just when the police thought they had their suspect, DNA evidence from Clark's basement revealed something shocking. The fingerprints on the tape sent to Linda did not belong to Clark. They belonged to Mark Reed, Daniel's father. The revelation shattered Maplewood. For years, Mark had played the grieving father, but the evidence was undeniable. Under interrogation, cracks appeared. Investigators pieced together a darker truth. Mark had been drowning in debt, gambling behind his family's back. The night Daniel vanished, father and son had argued. Witnesses remembered hearing shouting near the Reed house around the same time Daniel walked home. Mark confessed in fragments, his voice hollow. Daniel had discovered the lies, threatened to tell his mother. In a moment of rage, Mark snapped. He hid the truth for years, staging the abduction, even mailing the tape to divert suspicion when Linda refused to let the case die. Daniel had never come home because he never left the house alive. Mark Reed was arrested, the trial gripping the nation. Linda, devastated, sat through every hearing, her face pale but unyielding. When the guilty verdict came, the courtroom was silent except for her quiet sobs. The town of Maplewood finally had answers, but closure is a word that doesn't belong to grieving mothers. Linda kept the porch light burning, not for hope anymore, but as a memorial for the boy who should have walked through that door. And Maplewood would forever whisper the story of the boy who never came home.